Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's going on, guys? And welcome to a brand new episode of Energized. And welcome, Ross, welcome to the show, man.
Oh, thanks. That makes me feel like I'm a guest more than the co-host, but that's fine. Taking our inner Wolf of Wall Street out on the world.
I literally just said, take my lead. Ross, what's the story about how you keep it?
Grand man, another day in lockdown. You know what I mean? Although a different day in lockdown. I sort of want to look at UFC heavyweight rankings because I think that's what's the hot topic at the moment. In over the last few events, you've had Fabricio Verdum fight Ngannou. You've had obviously Overeem beat Walt Harris, and then you also had Ngannou defeat Rosenstruik. So a lot of the heavyweights have been in action. Ben Rothwell also beat OSP in a heavyweight bout as well. So
Chase
the
Sherman.
heavyweight. Don't mind Chase Sherman. The UFC heavyweight division, you know, it's actually hot as ever right now, and like the heavyweights are very, very active. Also, it makes sense for the heavyweights to stay active during the pandemic because at the end of the day, they struggle with the weight cut the least. So we sort of have the division being held up by Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic. No date has been decided for that. Stipe sort of saying, "Oh, you know, being a first responder and stuff like that. Like my gym is closed, everything's shut down in Cleveland. I'm waiting for it to reopen for that," and that's sort of his excuse. Daniel Cormier is obviously at the UFC most weekends doing his commentary, so he's ready to rock. I don't think he fancies Ngannou. Ngannou is like the number one contender, absolutely undisputed. Some call him the uncrowned champion. The only thing is, Barry, right? DC's going to fight Stipe, and regardless who wins, both might retire afterwards.
I know.
So, who do you actually think Ngannou should fight for the belt? Because if you look at the rankings here, number 3 is Curtis Blades. He's knocked him out twice. Junior Dos Santos beat him. Derek Lewis, that was an absolute snooze fest. Rosenstruik, like, he actually ran through him. Volkov, I don't think is coming off a win. Overeem, he like knocked him out of the octagon. Walt Harris just lost. Ngannou actually like is not a bad shout, but he actually like recently enough lost to Walt Harris and Overeem. And then like you sort of go to the lower end of the scale, and like no one's buying a pay per view with the rest of their names, like Abdurakhimov, Iganov, Saki, Pavlich, and then obviously Verdum just lost to Ngannou. So like, is it going to be Francis Ngannou versus Johnny Bones Jones for the heavyweight belt? Because John Jones calling him out.
I cannot picture John Jones making his debut in the heavyweight division against Francis Ngannou.
What if it's for the belt, though?
I know, but I think this whole talk of going up to heavyweight was like, right, I could beat TC and I could beat Miocic. But like, the freight train of Francis Ngannou attacking you with a windmill fucking punches. Like, for your heavyweight debut, I can see him putting that on the back burner for a while, you know?
Curtis Blades is actually probably one of the most unlucky heavyweights of all time because he had to fight Ngannou twice. And if it wasn't for a man called Francis Ngannou, he'd be the number one contender. Would you like seeing Ngannou versus Derek Lewis again?
Yeah, but for what? Like, Ngannou's now at the top. So
yeah, well, I'm surprised Ngannou only has 2 fights left on his UFC deal. He said that after his last fight. And I was sort of thinking, why not have him fight again very, very fast? Like, Derek Lewis beaten by decision. So
I know, yeah. Nobody won that, in fairness. Like,
well, yeah, no one won, but like that makes sense. Or if you want to do an interim title,
yeah, but
like I don't think the fight could be that boring again.
If it was for a title,
and 5 rounds.
Oh my god, but that could be 5 rounds of. I think Ngannou has changed now. I think he's like, I'm going to freight train him straight away. For the
I just think over 5 rounds, someone's going to have to do like the famous Mike Tyson saying, if you go for the finish, you're not going to win the decision.
Yeah.
So
Okay, grand. I'd sum me up to that then. I'd take Lewis versus Ngannou for the interim title
Yeah.
because or else he's just going to be sitting out, and like, who doesn't want to see Francis Ngannou in the octagon?
Yeah,
Apart from
and
his opponent.
especially if you give him 5 rounds, like they have to get the job done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there we go. I think you
Because like
called it.
that's a retirement fight, DC versus Stipe.
I know.
Like Stipe said, if he didn't have like his eye injury and whatever else, he'd be retired by now anyway himself. Although, like you said before, see with Dominic Cruz and Cejudo, and like Dominic Cruz was probably could have been like, oh, I was going to retire too. Like
We both retire.
Yeah, but whoever wins, the other person's going to be like, I retire too.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting that way.
I'll go for that then. I'll go for that. I can't see, like, I don't see the John Jones things happening until, like, for the interim title. You know, I think he's like on. He can just hold out and just keep winning there in the light heavyweight division. You know, I wouldn't be in a rush if I wouldn't be in a rush for if I was John Jones, especially in Ngannou, man. That because everyone wants to see him. Everyone wants to see John Jones get that haymaker. You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, John Jones knows that like he could just annoy people by not taking it and then just defend his title because he doesn't have to move up. Also, the more he talks about Israel Adesanya, the more he can stay in that division as well.
Yeah, I just want to see someone fight. In fairness, Israel Adesanya said he'd fight Stipe. I was like, I'd watch that. You know, I mean, there's something about the heavyweight division where I'm looking at and going like, unless it's Ngannou, Derek Lewis, or Rosenstruik, I'm like, not too sure. And that's the thing, like, who does the Reem come in and fight now? Like, the Reem is... It's so funny the way the rankings work, because the Reem is ranked number 8 at the moment. Obviously, he will move up. The rankings haven't come in since Saturday. And, like, Junior Santos is ranked number 4. And obviously, Reem knocked him out. But Santos lost the last 2 fights to Blades and Ngannou. So, like, is the Reem going to move the whole way up to number 4?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure.
It's
because that was a good win at the end of the weekend, but it wasn't overly impressive.
Yeah, true. It wouldn't, sort of blow your socks off. And then, like, Rosenstruik, Derek Lewis, you know what I mean? They're 5 and 6. Like, where does the Reem go? And, like, does he really, like, leapfrog Rosenstruik straight away? See, the heavyweight division is so much like, I beat him, but he beat me, and then he lost him, but then I beat him, and then he beat him, and I lost them. It's like, they've all, like, beaten each other.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. I think one matchup, like, is like a domino effect to the rest of that division as well, which is great.
Yeah. And then obviously Fabricio Verdum came in ranked number 15. He's newly ranked after UFC 249. He'll obviously move up the division as time goes on with the rankings, because I think it's safe to say he's ahead of Blagoy Iganov and Saki.
Definitely, I'll agree with that. You were talking about Francis Ngannou, by the way. Have you seen him on Mike Tyson's podcast?
No, I haven't watched it yet. It was good.
Oh man, so good. It gets so deep. Mike Tyson gets like, he's so emotional all the time. Like, you can almost trigger Mike Tyson, but like, obviously you wouldn't want to do that. But like, he gets so deep and emotional, and like with Francis Ngannou barely even knows what to say at the end, because obviously English isn't his first language. But definitely check it out. It was just before he had that fight there. But yeah, definitely check it out. But is there anything else you want to talk about before we get into the weekend's action?
No. Well, just one last thing. I just was looking at the rankings there, right? And I think the UFC actually have to, like, take the rankings off these journalists. And, like, why don't they just have ESPN do the rankings? Like, they're on ESPN. It would make so much more sense. Like, Glover just, like, convincingly beat Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith's ranked 4. Glover's ranked 8.
Yeah, but have they updated the rankings?
I'm not sure. I think they have. I'm not 1,000% sure.
I think they update every Monday or Tuesday.
I think it's Wednesday they actually get updated. But, like, we'll see when those rankings come in, whether it's been updated or not. But I'll be very interested to see where they get ranked. But I think it should almost be more official, if that makes sense. I know people say it is official, but it should be more. The people who are making the rankings need to be held responsible for the rankings. I feel like it's like anonymous posts.
Yeah, like
it's like a jury.
Yeah, like the judges, they should be like,
Yeah, their face should come up.
yeah. So, speaking of judging, do you want to get into this weekend's action?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Ross, we may as well start at the very, very top team. And as you were talking about the heavyweights, Alistair Overeem won on his 40th birthday against Walt Harris. He got a TKO in the second round. What do you make of this one, man?
Overeem always looks so tentative in there now. He always looks like he's terrified of being knocked out.
Yeah. I'm sure he would be.
Yeah, Walt Harris caught him with some nice big shots early on in the fight. And Overeem was like down. I was like, that's probably going to be it.
Yeah.
But you could actually see the difference in class when Overeem got Harris down, big head kick, and then followed up with a few punches. He was so much better on the ground than Harris that Harris was never getting up. And it was almost like a disappointing finish because it was such sort of timid punches to get the job done. Although, in fairness, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of them either.
Yeah. We both going into this fight, we both picked Overeem to win. We thought that Walt Harris, maybe with the stuff that was going on behind the scenes with his family, that it might affect him. But like at the end of the day, this just turned out to be a flip of the coin, didn't it?
Yeah, it was who lands heavier and who lands first.
Yeah. Then in the women's strawweight division, Claudia Gadelha won by decision against Angela Hill. Something that we have to definitely touch on is don't leave it in the hands of the judges. Ross, what do you make of this, man?
I actually hate that phrase, you know.
How come?
Well, I just think that like the judges should be like competent and well paid. That you shouldn't actually be fearful that like if it goes to the scorecard, you'll get screwed over. I don't think anyone was screwed here. I thought it was quite a tight fight. I thought Claudia won round one. Thought she was gassing out round two. Hill took that one, and then round three was tight enough. I probably would have scored for Hill, but I don't think it was like the biggest robbery of all time.
I know. I like pre-fight. I went for Claudia. I think you did as well.
Yeah.
But, I thought Angela Hill actually won that fight, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. I thought Hill won, but I don't think it was. You know, no one was there with the balaclava on.
I know. Yeah, like I think really if they're only sort of battling for the titles, people tend to cause
Murder.
Yeah, that's literally good word. Then the featherweight. What?
Go on, yeah, I was going to say the featherweight division.
Yeah,
there was another controversial decision.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in the featherweight division, Dan Oig, people keep calling Dan Ige, against Edson Barboza. Dan Oig won by decision. Ross, another one that people would say were quite controversial.
Yeah, well, I think this one all came down to who you thought won the second round. I think everyone sort of thinks Barboza won the first round, and then Danny Oig won the third round. He got the takedown about halfway through the final round. I actually thought Barboza won the second round. I thought the most sort of telling shot was he hit him with a big body kick in the second round, and I thought that was enough to get the job done. I thought his clinch work was good in round two, Barboza. But then again, I was also picking Barboza and up for Barboza during the fight. So sometimes I wonder, am I being too biased in the middle of a fight?
Yeah, I was up for Barboza as well. It'd be cool to see him get up that featherweight division, maybe take on Max Holloway at some stage. That would be cool. But Dan Oig, he was so serious hard on him as well in there. He wasn't giving up. So does Barboza stay in that division now, or what do you think?
I think he does. I think you sort of get a free pass at your first weight cut, and I think he'll go again. It'd be interesting to see, does he actually get in the rankings on sort of name recognition alone? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you sort of have to look and go, Barboza's class. That's another thing, right? I know I don't want to go back into the rankings, but Tyron Woodley like knocked out, or well, he didn't knock out, but he's ranked number 15, and Dominic Reyes was ranked 15 before this. Obviously, Gaethje winning the title, sort of, you know, he has to be in the rankings, right? But Dominic Reyes like lost a split decision to John Jones, and he's not ranked in the pound for pound rankings. But if, like, you basically almost got a draw, and some people thought you won against the pound for pound number one. Should you not actually be pound for pound number two?
Fortunately, this isn't our problem to sort out, but it is something we like to discuss. Ross, also in the middleweight division, Christoph Jocko defeated Eric Anders by decision. What to make of this fight? And also, did you think the fight was as impressive as Jocko's celebration?
No, Jocko's breakdancing is top of the range. I think he's up there with Derek Brunson. I think it was most wins in the current active middleweight roster. I like Jocko. I think he's very solid middleweight. He sort of gets the job done. I think the thing with Jocko was, could he, break down the barrier of cracking those guys in the top 10?
Good pun, breaking it down.
Yeah, so who would I like to see Jocko against next? Maybe throw him in there with Derek Brunson, see how he gets on there. It would be a fun scrap. Obviously, Brunson's going to try and wrestle him. And I'd like to see him, sort of fight out for, most wins in the current middleweight active roster.
Yeah. I think Jocko, like you can see, he was way more of a mixed martial artist than Eric Anders, and that got him the decision. Then in the featherweight division, Song Yadong, who did fight, even though people thought Royal Faber was going to step in instead, he defeated Marlon Vera by decision. A lot of people had this for Vera as well, Ross.
I actually thought this was less of a robbery. I think Vera just kicked up enough of a fuss to make people go, actually, maybe he won. But I thought Song won round 1 and 2. I thought Vera won round 3. I just thought maybe round 3 was the most decisive round for Vera. And I always think that's a thing. Like, when you really decisive win the third round of the fight, people go, oh, well, in sort of street rules, this fight, if they fought forever, Vera probably would have won.
Yeah, a lot of people had that with the Diaz-McGregor 2 fight as well.
Yeah, and also Amanda Nunes versus Shevchenko as well.
Yeah. Then Ross, in the welterweight division, Matt Brown lost to Miguel Baeza.
This was a scrap.
This was a brilliant comeback from Miguel Baeza, but Matt Brown sort of came across as if his chin was sort of gone.
Well, I think his chin has been gone for a while. He's been caught with a lot of stuff. But, like, Matt Brown is so aggressive. I love it. He comes out and he's swinging. But look, great finish, great left hook, and that's all she wrote. I think once you see Matt Brown get dropped, you're like, that's it, game over.
Yeah. Then in the middleweight division, 2 Dana White Contender Series veterans, you could say, even though it's not out that long. Anthony Hernandez lost to Kevin Holland in 39 seconds. Man, Kevin Holland is vicious.
Yeah, see, he said he's going to drop down to welterweight after this. He's 6'3".
He's like skinny as anything anyway.
Yeah, well, he says he's going to do it, so. Twig boy.
Then in the featherweight division, Giga Kadze, the Georgian bloke.
Goat.
Yeah, I was like, what else? What was G? Defeated Erwin Riviera. Erwin Riviera came in on short notice. Giga Chikadze, he looked very, very impressive. Very big for a featherweight. Maybe because Erwin was so small, but man, him against another stand-up fighter would be a great watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And who knows, he might actually fight Nate Landwehr, who just beat Darren Elkins. That'd be a good fight. Why not? Like, also time-wise, it works. He absolutely bloodied up Darren Elkins. But I don't know how much praise you should get for that, because I feel like if, like, my son Theo punched Darren Elkins in the face, he'd bleed everywhere.
Yeah, that's the fight exactly. That was the one just before that in the featherweight division. Darren Elkins lost the decision against Nate Landwehr. I know the blood was everywhere in this one. Very, very gruesome. But do you think the right person won by decision?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I thought the damage did well in round 1, but, like, as the fight went on, Landwehr actually had, like, the gas tank to go with Elkins. And I always think that was Elkins' thing. Like, he had a better gas tank than most people, but the damage got damaged badly in this fight.
He did. Yeah, throughout the fight, Bisping kept saying that, like, kept saying the word damage, and I was just like, you would have, apart from using that word, probably try and use a different one. It's like, oh, he's rocked or hurt. But yeah, that was a brilliant fight to watch. But like, very gruesome for I doubt a lot of people were eating their food while watching that. Courtney Casey also won the flyweight division against Maria Borella.
First ever armbar in the flyweight division history, women's flyweight division. So fair play to her.
She got a fight bonus for that one as well. And then Rodrigo Nascimento Ferreira defeated Dontel Mays in the second round by submission.
I didn't see this fight, so
I actually missed that one as well. But Ross, that wraps up the 3 days, three events in a week in Florida. There is meant to be an event on this weekend, but we won't know until later on in the week.
I would have almost said it was an overload, but like we were like so like spared of MMA for so long. I was like, I'll take it. Although I almost would have liked it to be a flip, as in like UFC 249 was this Saturday, and you sort of had two like mediocre cards, and then you had the big one. But I felt like we were blessed with such a good card that like it really dampened my interest in the other cards.
Yeah. Hopefully it is back this weekend as well. I like having.
Yeah, but like it was like you had the main course on dessert first, and then you were like, oh here's two starters from last week.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, if the next card is UFC 250, we're gonna have someone else on the show as well to break that down as well. Hopefully, if there's a fight card this week, we'll get someone else on the show. But what did you make of the last week of action, Ross, overall, before we end the show?
To be honest, it's just great to see UFC back. They seem to be doing great steps in terms of guidelines and stuff like that. I thought the fights were really, really good, especially UFC 249. And fair play to UFC for sort of setting the standard.
Exactly. I saw that, like, don't show in the boxing scene, like all the top boxers don't really fight each other, and then people's records get patented. But then when you look at the way Dana White runs things in the UFC, he's the best fighting the best. And I think after this week, I think mixed martial arts, especially UFC, is just above boxing now. You know, because like who could boxing put on right now that everyone would be intrigued by, bar the heavyweights fight?
Yeah, well, there's
not more than intrigued. Sorry, like,
yeah.
As in, like, if UFC 250 was on, and you couldn't put like any heavyweight fight on in boxing.
Maybe you did Canelo Triple G3. Like that would be something I would be like brilliant. There's a few ones that, like, you know, Errol Spence fighting, or, you know, Manny Pacquiao fighting, that I'd be like, yeah, great, but like very few and far between. You know what I mean?
Mike Tyson against Evander Holyfield 3.
Chance, I don't actually see that fight. I actually don't. You know what it is? I've seen Evander Holyfield do interviews, and I actually just don't like him. Like, as of late, if that makes sense. He's so uninterested in them, and it's like, why'd you agree to do them in the first place?
Yeah, I think he's very, very punch drunk, and like,
yeah,
you know, a lot of his kids are like, they're called like Evando, Evandi, they're all Evander something.
You mean Ivan?
Yeah, yeah. Check it out. I think he has like 9 kids as well. But Ross, that sort of wraps up the show.
Yeah.
It went on a lot longer than I expected. But
but it was a great show.
Yeah, well, like, I think the audio version, I'm going to put it out full. And then for the videos, I think I'll chop it into COVID, football, and MMA. I think that's
brilliant. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So, ladies and gents, myself and Ross are on the rocky road to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're on Spotify, make sure to subscribe, because we're nearly on 300 there. Yeah, we really appreciate if you subscribe, because once it gets a certain amount of numbers, we can then actually get bigger people and better people on, even though we've had like some very big names on anyway.
Just be sound and subscribe, will you?
Yeah, it's free. But Ross, this was good. We'll have to do it again later on the week if there is another MMA event. And I think we might have an interview on this week as well. We'll see what the situation is with that. But it's good to be back. Hopefully people are staying safe. Anything else?
No, I'll just reiterate what you said. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, because it means a lot to us and it means nothing to you. So thanks a million. And as always, stay energized.